Everyone knows that feeling, wanting to experience more stories, but struggling to find the time. That's where Audible changes everything. With over 1 million audiobooks and Audible originals, there's a story waiting to spark anyone's imagination. Take The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, the gripping psychological thriller that's keeping listeners on the edge of their seats. Imagine unraveling its mysteries during your morning commute, or losing yourself in its twists and turns while doing household chores. That's the magic of Audible. It transforms daily routines into opportunities for thrilling discoveries. The best part? Members get access to thousands of included titles, with new content added regularly. From bestsellers to hidden gems, every genre imaginable is at their fingertips. And with one easy-to-use app, switching between favorites or discovering new passions has never been simpler. There's more to imagine when you listen. Start a free 30-day Audible trial and get your first audiobook free at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Don't ask me to talk. Are you doing the intro or am I doing the intro?
I think you're doing the intro.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm Stacey Heller.
I'm Eric Ryder, and you've just heard an encapsulation of how much prep we do before another exciting edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk.
But that's what's so great about the show, the spontaneity,
Absolutely,
the genuine conversation.
That's right.
Right? I mean,
none of this is rehearsed.
None of it at all. And it's truly water cooler talk.
Yeah.
Without the water cooler.
Sure.
I do have a water bottle.
Hey, there you go. I've got my old standby, which is a Pepsi Cola soda shop, which is made with real sugar. So that's why I picked this one.
Really?
Over the regular Pepsi, yes.
Is this a new thing that's out?
It's been a few years. They years ago they came out with Pepsi Throwback, which was made with real sugar instead of corn syrup. And then somewhat recently they changed it to Soda Shop for some reason.
Because it's like ye old soda shoppy.
Yeah.
Is it spelled SOSHOPPE?
No.
Okay.
Just the regular way.
All right.
But I find it tastes better than the corn syrup version, and there's not that like filmy kind of thing on your in your mouth or on your teeth afterwards, which is nice.
Interesting. Yeah. This is why we're supposed to brush our teeth twice a day.
Mm-hmm. But funny thing is, went down to we talked about this on the show. Of course, went down to the Vegas area a few weeks ago. Got a 12-pack to get me through the.
You wild and crazy guy.
the 4 or 5 days that I was down there, so I had to get the 12-pack. And it tasted a little different.
Really?
And I wasn't sure if it was the elevation, the desert heat, the local bottler that made the difference. But there was a slight it tasted a little more like Coke.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It was, yeah. I was like, what?
Well, because you expect things to taste the same. Like, you know, it's like it should be the same recipe. But if they don't like clean the machine as often, or you're right, like I suppose elevation or heat or any of those things could change it.
Yeah, I just like, do you remember on like cake boxes, they used to say, if you're in the mountain region, add 20 minutes or whatever to your to baking times.
Totally.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but that used to be like a thing. Like, so it's like, oh yeah, your elevation, where you are in the world can change your perception or even a recipe. So
I made a cake for this weekend. I made a flourless chocolate cake. I was hosting a bridal shower.
What's the advantage of flourless?
Well,
that just sounds like it's just chocolate.
Essentially.
How is it cake?
So it is, when it comes out, it is this very dense, almost fudgy cake.
Right.
That is so rich that you need
you got sugar, you got eggs.
Yep.
You got chocolate.
Yep. A little bit of water in there.
So it's just like a chocolate bar with a little
kind
bit
of
egg. Yeah. Or brownies, I guess. Brownies have flour, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's
fudge, maybe.
It's good for people that are maybe what is it? Gluten-free? Gluten is wheat or is flour, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Although that's not why I made it. I made it because it's so delish and you only need a sliver. So when you're throwing a shower for 20 some odd people and it's women, you can get the tiny little slice and you don't have to make like a whole bunch of desserts. However, what made me think of this is the whole elevation thing. I have been making this cake for, 20 plus years. And it always comes out. It's super easy to make. And the past 2 times that I've made it, it hasn't worked out. And I don't know if it's the eggs or if I'm not greasing the pan enough, but it's just flopped. Basically what happens is you put it in a water bath and then you have to...
You bathe your cake?
Yes. Yes, it has to cook in a water bath. So you're putting the cake pan in a bigger pan. And then when it's done, you take it out, you immediately cover it with saran, you flip it, take the wax paper off the bottom, and then flip it back.
Boy,
so
this is sounding way more complicated than regular cake.
It's a thing.
It sounded at first like, oh, we're going to simplify this.
Yeah. No, this is an act of love. This is an act of love.
14 more steps.
Right. So it stresses me out. Anyway, it flopped when I flipped it. And so...
It flop-flipped?
It flip-flopped. And so I ended up having to scrape it off the plate that it was on, and I put it in little pot de creme dishes that I have, and then I covered it with chocolate ganache, and I was like, I did that on purpose. So it all worked out in the end. But
good. Hard to go wrong with chocolate and sugar.
Well, yeah, but it made me think of I'm like, what's going on? Is it the elevation?
Right.
Like, why isn't this cake
Why does my Pepsi taste different?
Right. Exactly. I was
even at this advanced age, we're still learning stuff. We're still experiencing new stuff.
Yes, we are.
So don't give up on life, folks. It continues
so
to
much
be
to learn.
Revelation on the daily.
Well, here's something else that was really interesting from this shower. So the mother...
Wait, you took your cake in the shower?
No, that was a water bath.
Right. That's why I was confused.
This was a bridal shower that I threw.
Got it.
That's what I made the cake for. And the activities, because I don't know if you have ever gone to a baby or a bridal shower, typically there's some kind of activity that happens. And the activities for this one were to write advice to the future couple, to write bucket list items, to share recipes, things like that. And so you had to come armed with this information. Naturally,
good idea to give advance warning on that, I would think.
Very good idea.
Putting people on the spot for advice can be tough.
Well,
as we found out here on the show.
I was going to say
with our new advice segment, Dear Krabby.
I was going to say this bridal shower was the event that just kept giving because it really kept making me think of our show.
Mm-hmm.
Because the advice thing, I was like, I literally have a couple that's asking me for advice, and I had advice to give. And then here's the thing that was really hard, though, the bucket list piece. Now, what was interesting is that many of the women that were of a certain age, more mature age, really struggled with what to put on a bucket list. Whereas the young women that were there were like, buy a horse, even if it's just for a little while, swim with sharks, like go skydiving. And it shows you how as you age, your bucket list, aside from travel, you're mitigating risk.
Wait, this sounds like ways to die rather than things. Bucket list,
okay.
Yes. Put those all at the end because if you don't want a lengthy hospice stay, you can easily wipe yourself out.
This is what I'm saying. It was a really...
Getting bucked off a horse, eaten by sharks, or falling out of a plane.
Well, this is the point that I'm making, is that it's like these young women who are in their early 20s are not thinking about certain death the way that we are. And so they're not thinking about, money and practicality. They're like, go do this, go do that. Whereas the rest of us are like, well, that's a risk. That would hurt. Don't have the money for that. That's not going to happen in this economy.
Right.
Like,
I've got children to take care of.
Right. And so it was so interesting how much.
I've got a horse to feed. I can't be dying in a parachute accident.
Exactly. So it was very interesting to see how difficult it was to put together a bucket list. And what happened is the thing that people put down for bucket list was really ended up being more advice things.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird one, really, bucket list, because that's so personal.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, you're giving people your bucket list rather than, helping them achieve what their bucket list is.
That's just it.
Yeah.
It was, and it still ended up becoming advice in a way. Like I was like, visit all 50 states. Okay. That was a good basic one.
Sure.
But then I had one that was like, wherever you travel, buy a piece of art. Not everybody wants art. I love art.
Yeah.
And so
that's a lot of art.
That's a lot of art.
A lot.
Right. So it was a very interesting. Let me put it this way. I'm good friends with the mother of the bride. Rachel grew up with my son Charlie. They're both 21, 22. I don't know where Rachel is right now. Charlie's 22. So, I mean, they met when they were taking swim lessons in preschool together. So, I've known her for years.
Mm-hmm.
But of late, she's been off doing her own thing. And so, whatever.
Trying
and I
to
really
scratch things off that bucket list.
Right.
That takes a lot of time.
A lot of the people that were there, I didn't know anybody. I mean, really, I was the venue, if you will. And so I just sort of got to observe and watch this. And so for me, it was an interesting thing to reflect on the whole bucket list thing and to really see how when the items were read off and shared, how the young women were just so like, go do this, go do that, like dance in the rain in Paris. And I'm like, that's so cold, your feet will hurt. So I would say moving forward, maybe bucket list is a hard thing to ask. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's interesting and not that difficult if you're answering for yourself. But if you're trying to project the bucket list onto people, that's who knows.
Right.
That's great.
Well, and so then that led to, again, it was the event that just kept giving because I got to play the part of Dear Krabby because another one of the exercises was to share advice. And they had these really great printed cards that was, my advice is. And that was really fun. And people had interesting advice. And again, the answers were reflective of the age and stage that they are in their life. The younger women were much more fanciful. The women that have children or were pregnant or whatever, theirs was much more like, very like practical and functional. And then the women that were my age and older, there was a lot more self-care in there and those kinds of things. So,
any good life hacks that you gleaned?
Well, I have to say, of course, I think that I gave the single best piece of advice.
Which was?
Know that once you choose which side of the bed you sleep on, it likely will stay the same, so choose wisely.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right? It's something that you don't really think of.
Right.
I don't think that I think Pete and I switched sides once, and that was so that I could be closer to the window. But generally, it's like we go to a hotel, we sleep on the same side. We're at home, we sleep on the same side.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
Well, that's where your nightstand is.
Well, it's where your nightstand is,
Yeah.
but, like when you're young, like maybe you have a glass of water on it. I don't know. Like you don't have like the vitamins and the foot rub and the CPAP machine and like you're asking for the middle of the night when you wake up. So I thought that was a very good piece of advice.
Yeah.
I also
makes you think.
Gave the piece of advice to remember that your relationship is your own. You don't need to answer to anybody else. There was a lot of like, don't go to bed angry. I'm like, of course you're going to go to bed angry.
Right.
Like, good luck with that one.
You're just going to get a bad night's sleep when you do it. Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't mean tomorrow's shot.
Right. So there were some interesting bits of advice. But as I said, some of them were sort of more, romanticized versions of things, and it's going to be grand. And then it was, the make sure that, he does as much stuff around the house as you do. And, then it was make sure that you speak up for what your needs are. So, yeah, advice. It also, again, it depends on the age and stage where you are.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Any advice that you would give to a couple that is marrying?
Yeah. For your wiper fluid, you don't have to put in the blue stuff. You can use distilled water like 90% of the year. I mean,
Really?
especially around here. Yeah. And it's a lot cheaper and cleaner and better for the environment. So yeah, the wiper fluid, the blue stuff has like an antifreeze kind of element, which makes it good in the winter.
Right.
But the rest of the time, we don't freeze around here. So some distilled water does the job just as well. Cheaper, cleaner, and, easier to replace. You don't have to go to an automotive store. Any grocery store has distilled water.
That is the most random piece of advice. And also, you think I'm not going to share this? Like, this is amazing. What else you got?
I don't know. That's just what I thought of, because I'm not married. I don't know what to tell folks that are.
But you're in a relationship with a girlfriend.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe your advice is don't make the girlfriend the wife.
Well, I think finance is something that people argue about a lot. So I would say think very carefully if you decide to combine your finances, or do some serious guidelines when you do it, so that nobody feels like they're being controlled or money is being wasted, et cetera, et cetera. I'd say that's an important thing of any relationship, is to try and really think about, do you want to merge your finances? Right. And if you do, think about like what guidelines, like, do you have a shared bank account? And if you do, what is that shared bank account for? Is that, that only our bills can be paid with this, or can one partner just go wild and buy all the junk they want to target with it? You know what I mean?
I do. I mean, Pete and I, we have a shared bank account, and his money is my money and my money is my money.
Right. See, well, there you go. So I mean,
he's good with it.
Hey, if your partner is good with it, then that's fantastic. More power to you. But if they're not, or if this could be a sore spot or a sticky spot later, it's definitely something to not just go, well, we'll just see how it goes. It's something, guidelines, or like a conversation at least should happen.
And I think times have changed a lot. I mean, I'm the first to admit that.
I mean, if one of you was wasting all kinds of money on wiper fluid when distilled water does the job, then that's an argument.
Nothing but the blue stuff for me. Well, I mean, you do make a good point, and I will be the first to admit that my relationship, having married so young, I was 22 when I walked down the aisle. I had turned 22 3 months before. It was really nobody that was my age was getting married. This was 33 years ago, and I was a baby, and so my our things that we did were really modeled on what our parents did.
Right.
So we, in some ways, have a very like throwback, old-fashioned relationship.
Yeah, retro.
And so it's very retro. But like, what's old is new again. And some aspects of that have been good, but I think things have evolved. Now there's so much more dual income that's happening the way that it has to be. I think finances are a much bigger deal. So you're right. I think that's actually great advice because things have changed and evolved as they should. Like the way that we've done it is, it's worked for us, but it is so throwback.
Yeah.
And if it was to do it all over again, I would give that advice.
But hey, if that's what works for you, then that's great. I mean, but I'm just, I'm thinking like for the long term, there's certain things that people fight about or that cause, tension in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And to try and get ahead of those things when you're not angry about it is always a good thing, I think.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. So, yeah, I mean, congratulations and best wishes to Rachel and Tony. It was the event that gave me much to think about and much to bake for and many dishes to do. Was happy to do it.
Many dishes to you.
That might have to be like my new thing, like many dishes to you. So, you know how last week we talked about things that are going to be obsolete in 20 years?
Yeah.
I think brides registering for sets of china and glasses and this kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Back in my day when I was getting married, we would get the plates and the fancy stuff and whatever. And now it's just so much more practical. And I'll tell you what, Godspeed to all that.
What's more practical than dishes?
Well, what I'm saying is I had a set of fancy china.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't for every day. So these days, brides and grooms and brides and grooms and grooms, they're not doing that. They're not worrying about the fancy stuff that's for when company comes.
Right.
And it's ridiculous. And now I have my grandmother's china and silver, mine, my mother's, and my kids don't want it. I
was just going to say, if you're over the age of like 26, I would say, and you're getting married, you probably, between the two of you, have both accumulated a whole bunch of like housewares and stuff. So to, then have people come and give you a bunch of housewares.
Right.
Usually is like, unless your toaster is burnt out by then, it's not really what you need in life.
Right. Or you're ooh, I get to upgrade, when someone else is paying for it.
What you really need is money.
Well, it's true.
But that is like considered uncouth to ask for or to, give money. I think we kind of got to get past that because that's really what people need.
It's what people need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that all of these social norms of the past, they are going to be obsolete. And I think that's a good thing. And with that, I'm ready to take a break.
Let's do it. We'll be right back with more Don't Ask Me to Talk. This is Eric Ryder reminding you to follow us on Facebook. We're at Don't Ask Me to Talk, and we're on Instagram, again, at Don't Ask Me to Talk. We'd love to hear from you, so check us out on social media and leave us a comment. Leave us a like. Remember, you can always email us directly at asking@don'taskmetotalk.com or leave us a voicemail or text at 475-999-2726. That's 475-999-2726. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
I'm the other one. I'm Stacey Heller.
Yeah, and this is the segment of the show where we typically talk about erasing our cultural blind spots, which equates usually to me talking about an old movie that I watched that I missed the first time around when it was in theaters and stuff. And this week, spoiler, I didn't get to see any classic movies, but I think there's one on the horizon.
Oh?
Because I just saw Hoopla has added The Godfather, The Godfather 2, and some weird like new remix of The Godfather 3, which I may have to check out because that apparently is the one that everybody says, not so good.
Okay.
But I've never seen the Godfather movies.
I haven't either.
Really? Okay.
Nope.
So this is a huge cultural blind spot for both of us. It's one of those things where I thought, like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out, but maybe I'll wait until it's re-released in theaters, and then I can check it out on the big screen like it's meant to be. But I've been saying this for like 25 years, right? And it has not been re-released in theaters. So I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet, so to speak, and watch
Such a mob thing to
The
say.
Godfather. Right. Watch the Godfather movies.
Maybe this is the one that we both need to watch.
Yeah, we could sync up on this. Yeah. And share our thoughts. Like, I know the world is dying to know what we think of Francis Ford Coppola's masterpiece.
I want to know about the part where the cat jumps onto Marlon Brando's lap.
Spoiler.
Apparently, that was a random thing. It was
really?
not. Yeah, it was not a scripted thing. A cat came in and jumped up on his lap.
Okay.
Supposedly. So
I'm sure that is the highlight of the film. That is what everybody remembers.
you know what? It's the thing that makes me happy. Okay.
Fair enough. So maybe we'll do that here in the next few weeks.
All right. I like that. How are you doing on Orange is the New Black?
Well,
Because I finished White Collar.
Yeah, I've been I'm getting closer to the end.
Okay.
And I watched all of season 6 this last week. And it's still maintaining good quality, you know. Normally, well, I can't say normally, but a lot of times a few seasons in, a show starts to lose its footing. And I feel like this has stayed consistent. I mean, it helps that they only do 13 episodes a season.
Sure.
But yeah, a couple things. 2 of the inmates started a radio show that
What?
remarkably similar to Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Which
So
came
this
first?
this may be a plan for our distribution when we're both,
Incarcerated?
in prison. Yes. Yes. But they also and this, I was completely unaware of this, even though this is an older show, because this show was completely off my radar until recently. So we start Dear Krabby, and then like the next day, I turn on Orange is the New Black, and the hosts of this new morning radio show in the prison are doing an advice column, basically. And I got to say, they got better response. I mean, so maybe we need to lock up our listeners until they send us some questions. Because
Maybe. Or, hey, listeners, if you know somebody that is incarcerated, maybe you could share the show with them, and maybe they would have some really great questions to ask us.
I think it's tough to smuggle in a podcast
What
into
kind
prison,
of advice? Like, what were the questions? Like, how do you make a shiv?
Well, no, they did have guards, kind of censoring some of the stuff. But,
Okay.
Like one of the questions was, "Am I basic?" Which I thought was an interesting question. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it turned out the listener or the questioner was in fact basic.
I love this,
yeah.
but this could get the 2 co-hosts in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah. I mean,
luckily, we're not going to get shivved coming out of the studio, but they might. Right.
Interesting. All right, now I really need to watch this.
But another thing that was interesting from this last season that I watched is a Tacoma celebrity joined the cast.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, Vicky Martinez, who is a singer and actress.
Okay.
She ends up playing one of the prisoners on the show. And she's there for a full season at least. Yeah.
Go Vicky.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome. So like Tacoma takes a lot of pride in our people. You know, we kind of try and big up
Sure.
everybody that's a T-Town, person. And so she's been one of the most successful people in show business to come out of Tacoma in the last 10, 15 years or so. So
I love this.
Yeah.
What did she do? What got her in the joint?
I have no idea. They didn't share that backstory.
All right. Well, just curious.
Yeah, but she was good. So and she's, friends of my friends too. So that's like 2 degrees of fame here.
Hey, no
me,
6 degrees for you.
That's right. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Well, something that I thought was interesting, it's not really a cultural blind spot. I wish sort of it was. So I went through this phase where I apparently wasn't old enough to be left home alone and my brothers were off doing whatever. So my parents brought me to these wildly inappropriate movies. I talked about how I saw Kramer versus Kramer as a kid. I saw
the inappropriate movies. It seems like they were possibly strategically designed to bore you to sleep. So then they could watch something more juicy.
Possibly, because then it was also Breaking Away.
Yeah.
And then 4 Seasons with Alan Alda and Carol Burnett.
Because I got to say, the inappropriate movies that I got brought to as a kid were like terrifying. The kind of stuff to give you nightmares for 10 years or so. Whereas Kramer versus Kramer, I would have been straight out.
And see, the thing is, like, what my parents probably didn't realize is that I am a thoughtful child. Sure. And so I was like, are they trying to tell me something? Are they getting divorced? Like, holy cow. And then 4 Seasons, a group of friends over the course of 4 seasons, and one of them announces to the friend group that he's leaving his wife. And there's a remake of it that's now on Netflix. Tina Fey and her production company or whatever did a remake.
I thought this was Netflix just doing a low-budget ripoff of The White Lotus.
No, this is a remake of that movie. And
they got a fancy hotel show. Let's make a fancy hotel show. There's no copyright on that.
Isn't it where they're like, and there's also like big press releases that happen at the 4 Seasons?
Yeah. But only if it's the gardening.
Oh, right.
Center, not
wrong
the
4
hotel.
Seasons.
Yes.
Wrong 4 Seasons. So anyway, yeah, that was sort of interesting that I hadn't thought about that movie forever.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's being remade. So now I feel compelled to watch it to see if it traumatizes me.
Well, let me see if I can do the same. Anybody making a remake of Phantasm?
Wait, that horrified you?
Have you seen Phantasm?
No, is it scary?
It's scary.
I think I'm confusing it with Fantasia.
I did see Fantasia as a kid.
That's also a little trippy.
It's trippy, yeah, but it's not scary. I mean, there's some parts of it that are a little bit.
What's this other one then?
Phantasm?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horror movie from the 70s. It's about a guy that operates a mausoleum, and he's kind of like he's got a connection to the underworld, and it's he at one point one scene that like stayed with me forever. He gets his hand slammed in the door and the fingers pop off and he's got yellow blood for some reason.
Okay.
And there's these little characters that look like Jawas, but turns out it's like all the people that he's undertaken. And
who took you to see this?
Well, it was our roommate and her boyfriend took her son and me to the drive-in, and we watched that.
I've never been to a drive-in.
Really?
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
But you're the right age to have seen movies at a drive-in.
I know, but there wasn't ever one round, and my parents certainly didn't. They were like, that seems uncomfortable.
It was a pretty fun experience.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool. It looks so cute in Greece. A drive-in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a cool thing because that's the thing. If you're a kid and you're bored, and they're bored with the movie that you're watching, you can look around and watch any number of 5 different movies, which was great as a kid that wasn't allowed to see certain things. You could actually turn your head and watch some nudity out of nowhere. That you never would have had the chance
Eric,
to see
you
otherwise.
Imp.
Yeah. One thing that was funny is back in the early 80s and before that, they had these like big speakers that you would just put in your window. Mm-hmm. You would roll up the window and it would hook on the window, and that speaker would be the sound for the movie. Mm-hmm. A few years later, they switch to you tune in a radio station,
Okay.
and then you pick up the audio on your radio in your car. But my uncle totally forgot to take the speaker off back in the day when they were using the speakers, and he drove home with the speaker.
No.
It's still in the window, and it busted off.
Oh,
and
my
so
gosh.
for years he had this like hooked up to his stereo, the drive-in
That's funny.
speaker from the drive-in movie theater where he went.
He didn't notice, or he was just like,
He didn't notice. Yeah, I mean, it was too late after. I mean, he could have brought it back, but I don't think he wanted to come clean with the fact that he damaged their
Right.
their equipment.
Gosh, that's
but
funny.
I think that was a fairly common experience, which is why they switched to dial it in on your radio, on a radio station, rather than have an external speaker put in your car.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I always wondered how that worked, because if there was multiple screens, I'm like, how is that working? Like, like, can you hear it from far, far away? Like, I didn't know how it worked because I had never been. So then I got
Now
it.
you know.
Now I know. The more you know. Okay. Any other exciting things happen during your week that you need to share about?
Oh, I went to the dentist. I had a nice, lengthy dentist appointment.
Oh,
so, yeah.
hey. So that's good.
And I
You're
got
back
another
on the
one
twice
coming
a
up.
year.
I'm on the twice a month, apparently, because I got to finish things up tomorrow. So, yeah, good times. Another 90-minute appointment.
I hate that. I have a cracked tooth. I need to go in.
Yeah, I got to say it was painless because they numb me up good.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's still unpleasant,
It's just, yeah. It's
But
just that drilling
definitely
sound
needed to be done.
in your head. Like, you can sort of handle the discomfort. I find that when I sit in a dentist chair, I am actively working on trying to relax my hands because I am balling them into fists. So then I'll notice it, and so then I'll work on my breathing, and I'll work on like, okay, and we're gonna relax our hands. It's a weird, I'm like, you're fine, everything's okay. I'm playing these mind games with myself.
Well, here's the thing. I keep seeing these medical, stories about medical breakthroughs where they're getting like mice or whatever to regenerate teeth or their vision because some gene that we have as humans is blocking everything that would help us heal. So intelligent design, my foot. But yeah, so they're trying to figure that out. But then I go like, wow, this is exciting. Maybe I won't buy new glasses, or maybe I won't go to the dentist. And then it's like clinical trials start in 2030. And it's just like, I'm going to be dead before I'm allowed to regenerate.
Well, and this is why Pete says he wants to be frozen, because he's convinced that the day after he dies, they'll find a cure.
No. They're going to find a cure for her.
I don't know. And I'm like, and by the way, you're relying on me to thaw you? Like,
right.
I mean, maybe.
They're going to find a cure for your soul has left your body.
I don't know.
I just don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Once you're dead, that regeneration train has left the station.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So hear that. Who are the people that are frozen? I think it's like the
Walt Disney's head or something.
Yeah. And then like Ted Williams was going to be frozen or something, the baseball player.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. Hey, listeners, let me know if I'm right about that. The other thing that I have been having fun with, and I don't know if this is something that everybody likes to do or if this is just a me thing, naming things. I've been doing some work with clients lately where they're needing to name things like drinks and, menu items.
You're not just passing dogs on the street.
No.
I'll call you Chester. No. His name is Bobby. Get away from us.
No.
Okay. That was the owner in this scenario.
I got that. That was good. I like the changing voices and everything. I really felt like I was there at the dog park.
Good. Without a dog. Just
without a dog.
hassling strangers.
And renaming their dogs. Yes. I very much felt when I was there. No,
I just gave people a whole list for their bucket list, so now I'm going to give people new names.
You'll get a name.
That's right.
You'll get a name. Well, yeah, not quite like that. No, being creative about, on theme ways to call things. So instead of calling it, a drink, I don't know, a paper plane, calling it something else.
A paper plane.
It's a gin-based drink.
Okay.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, every time I watch like serious television, I find out there's a number of drinks that I've never heard of that people are apparently still ordering,
Well, you're not a cocktail guy.
No, I'm not, but yeah, it's just amazing how many of these drinks there are and how unappetizing so many of them sound.
I had something last night at work that I tried called a Forbidden Sour, and it was made with bourbon. Now, it was delicious. I'm normally not a bourbon drinker. I'm not a whiskey, none of that. But there was, while I was working, somebody ordered it, and there was a little too much, and so I tried it. I'll tell you what. A little later in the middle of the night, it was like a little acid reflux. It did not taste as good.
That's why it's forbidden.
It is forbidden.
Yes.
First it was sweet and then it was sour. So naming things. It's something I've discovered something about myself that I really like to name things. I mean, I sort of knew that. Like, we had a step stool, and the kids, we named it Hank, because then the kids would say, "Hank you," when they stepped on it.
Okay.
You know what, Eric? Whatever. It's joy. My children had joyous childhoods.
Well, that's good.
And they've only all had to do therapy multiple times. So whatever.
Well, you know what? We haven't even talked about our top topic for today. I mean, we haven't mentioned what the topic is.
By the way.
That's coming up in that very next segment. So we should say stick around for that very next segment, because we're talking the ever so controversial pizza toppings. What are the best pizza toppings?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I have an opinion.
Everybody has an opinion. So, oddly enough, this may be our most controversial show yet.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I love
it. But hey, you're free. You're free to get in touch and let us know your favorite pizza toppings by just shooting us an email asking at don'taskmetotalk.com. Or, of course, you can text us or leave us a voicemail at
475-999-2726.
Perfect.
We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's take this break. We'll come right back. We'll deep dish into...
No deep dish.
What? I'm leaving now.
It's not a topping. It's the base, and it's the worst base.
Wrong.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be back. Thanks for listening.
Stay tuned for more Don't Ask Me to Talk. Do you feel challenged by the thought of getting ready every day? Want to make a great first impression, but don't feel your wardrobe represents who you really are? Does the thought of trying to find great clothing that fits your body and lifestyle have you overwhelmed? Michael Bruce Image Consulting is a premier image consulting company that can help you get your style back on track. Contact them at michaelbruceimageconsulting.com or call them at 425-214-4155 and start that conversation today.
Welcome back to Don't Ask Me to Talk. I am one of your hosts. I am Stacey Heller. I'm joined by...
Hey, it's me. It's Eric Ryder.
During the break, we were fisticuffs, ready to go, because we're not even talking about the base of the pizza. We're just talking about toppings.
Yes.
And already I was like, no, it is not deep dish.
Well, there's a little bit of order to this segment. Unlike the other segments, where I remind folks that we pick our topic randomly each week, and we do that with the help of our little friend, the Wheel O Topics. The wheel picks the topic randomly, but those topics that are on the wheel are not random. They are put there very purposely by a certain Stacey Heller. And I usually like to find out the thinking behind including a topic on the Wheel O Topics. So, Stacey, let us know what you were thinking with Best Pizza Topics.
Well, as always, thank you for asking. Here's the deal. It's a controversial topic. It's bizarre how controversial this is. I mean, all you have to do is even bring up, apparently, deep dish or not, or bring up pineapple.
Yeah, pizza in general is one of these topics that is so controversial. Like everybody believes the pizza that they love best is the best pizza, period. And every other pizza is an insult to humanity for even existing, which I think is a little bit cray. I'm not going to lie.
It's sort
but
of
it
like,
is one of those things, like it's like sports, that people are so rabid about the team that they support that even the existence of these other teams is an insult to them and their family and friends. Which
it's food-based road rage.
It's it's food rage.
It is food rage.
Yes.
I mean, like, it's crazy. I mean, even us talking about, like, the idea of, deep dish, and I don't even want to go there.
Oh, I do.
Well, we're talking about pizza toppings.
Yeah, but we could talk about the various pizza styles as well.
We can, and there is a time and place for deep dish. But here's the deal.
But wait. You got to explain.
I told you the reason
Just
for it.
Just because it's controversial.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, and because I think it's interesting.
But usually you have some fun story about, hey, I was at...
Yeah, I got into a fight with some friends when we were trying to figure out what pizzas to order when they were coming over, because Pete and I have been married for 33 years, and for 33 years, pizza night always happens on Friday. It works great when you're a Catholic. You don't eat meat. It's easy, during Lent.
Yeah, but I mean, meat is an essential. We're already getting into it. But go ahead.
Right.
Yep, go ahead.
But you can just have cheese.
Yep.
It works great throughout the years with kids. It meant that we didn't have to cook.
Sure.
So there was all these reasons why we did pizza night. And so everybody knows, like the kids know, friends know, if you're going to see us on a Friday night, we're having pizza. So the trick is then ordering pizza for a group. And the people that want the vegetable, the people that need the meat forward ones, the crazy loons that want the Hawaiian pizza, there's a lot of opinions. And opinions, they say, are like buttholes. Everybody has one.
Wow.
And, so that's really what inspired it, is the passion and derision with which the conversation went in order to place the order.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into this. Boy, I feel like we could have possibly assembled, if we put more thought into this, we might have been able to each assemble our dream pizza. But we'll just kind of casually, I think, talk about these things. So let's start with crust.
Okay.
What kind of crust do you think is best?
Well, thank you. I am a fan of a regular old thin crust. Now, be aware I am a native New Yorker and then lived in New Jersey and Connecticut. So it is the trifecta of classic pizza. Now, there's a difference between what I grew up having as a Sicilian pizza, which is like a deep dish, but it's not a deep dish. And it was always, growing up, it was square, and it was almost like a focaccia type bread base or crust base. So there is a time and place for that. But generally, I want thin crust, and I would like it ideally to be foldable. Like I'm doing the motion. You can't see me, dear listener, but I'm doing the folding motion with the pizza. And now I'm going to have to go have pizza for lunch, by the way.
Well, I really think that everybody's pizza preferences are, and say that 10 times fast, are really based on what they grew up with. But for too long, I feel like the East Coast has been loud and obnoxious about pizza. in a way that the rest of us are just over here going, hey, I like my pan pizza. I like my, my West Coast style. You know what I mean? And then they're going, well, you never had good New York pizza. And then we go to New York and we try what is considered the best pizza in the city. There's a line out the door. Oh my God. And then it's like, yeah, this is all right. But if I had a preference, I'd probably go round table over this. So, I mean, it's just wild.
Where's my shiv?
I mean, but so you like that thin crust. Me personally, I like a thicker crust. I do like the pan style pizza. And I gotta say, I love a deep dish. And I wouldn't necessarily want deep dish every time. I mean, first of all, it's a lot. It's a lot of calories and it's expensive. And it's hard to find out here a good deep dish. But when I have it, every time I have it, I go, damn, this is good. I like this. And I don't understand why it makes people angry because it's just a different style and it's good. But it seems like New York people get angry with Chicago people for that even existing.
No, that's fine. If you want to have pizza the wrong way, that is totally
the wrong
fine.
way. That's the thing. That's it. There's always that condescension. With
I don't know
even when
what
they're
you
accepting
mean.
it. Yeah. But okay, so I go a little bit thicker crust, and I really like a sourdough, if possible. That's really good.
Now, have you ever had a Sicilian pizza?
Define Sicilian pizza.
So typically, the deep dish is usually more thick than a Sicilian. Typically, it's served in a square or rectangle. It's fluffy.
Right.
And then very often you do a layer of cheese between the crust and then you do the sauce so that it doesn't become soggy. So it's...
This sounds similar to like a Detroit style pizza.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's baked in a square pan, usually.
Yeah.
It's a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the difference maybe, and again, I'm not a pizzaologist here, so folks write in with your corrections. But I believe the Detroit pizza has a lot of that cheese on top, so it kind of caramelizes it when it's baking, and I think that goes a long way to giving it the Detroit style thing. And I got to say, I've tried some good Detroit style pizza, and I do enjoy it. I don't think it's having a moment at the moment. And I don't think it's necessarily my favorite, but I do enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, that, I don't even know what we were talking about. I was just getting angry. So it's just that there's something about the tradition of the round pie and getting a slice. And by the way, to your point about all the places where there's the big dumb line because it's the latest place in New York. I mean, There was an SNL skit about big dumb line. It's very true. Something starts to trend and everybody gets in the line. Honestly, there is nothing better than going into those places that say like, $1 slice or $2 slice and getting a slice of pizza and eating it right there on the street and eating it. You don't need to go to the fancy place. It's good and classic and it's greasy. And there's nothing better than when the translucent sort of reddish grease runs down your hand and almost into your wrist and you're like, oh, this is delicious. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've done that and it's fine. It's good. Yeah. But like I said,
Fine.
I still prefer like a West Coast style, not deep dish, but pan pizza.
All right. So.
But okay, so we've got our crust.
Yep.
And now we can move on to sauce.
Yes.
And even though some types of preparation put the cheese first, we're just going to do sauce first.
Yep.
So put down the pen for the angry letter. So I like a classic red sauce, a red pizza sauce. some oregano in there, the standard pizza sauce. And there's some variation on that, but I think that's typically my favorite. But especially on the West Coast, people are getting kind of wild with it and doing all kinds of interesting sauces, And for me, there is something to be said for the classic, for the traditional. And that's why I always go for the red sauce. How about yourself?
So I would say I am a huge fan of a classic red sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want it too clumpy. Don't want it too fancy. It shouldn't overpower. It should be basically like the supporting role for the pizza, right?
Agree.
Now, that said, there are times I really like a white pizza. And so with a white pizza, it's not necessarily like an Alfredo-y type sauce. Like I like a ricotta based sauce or, something that has it's typically going to be all cheese and olive oil kind of base. That said, rarely will I'll order a cheese pizza without ordering a white pizza, but I won't order a white pizza without ordering a traditional red sauce pizza.
Okay. I think I would be the same in that if somebody bought a whole bunch of different styles of pizza and I'll have a slice of that. I'll try that. So there's a lot. And I got to say, I like all kinds of pizza. So if you do, I like a pizza party with a bunch of variations, I'm in hog heaven. But if we're talking about what I'm ordering when I'm getting just one pizza, that's what I'm saying is the best.
Okay.
So as far as sauce, what do you think about a barbecue sauce pizza?
So I do love myself a barbecue occasionally. I'll go through a phase. I'm okay with it. Again, it's typically I'm ordering a little small one.
Now, see, this is because you spent time out here. I think you'd probably get lynched in New York talking about
maybe. I'm
like in
and
a
then I
barbecue
dip it in
sauce
ranch.
pizza.
Which is so a Pacific Northwest thing or a West Coast thing. The whole dipping it in ranch thing.
I think that's like a Papa John's thing.
I don't mind it. Again, to me,
I like it too.
It's like oh, great, you're going to order a bunch of different pizzas? Sure, I will eat that. That's great. But again, to your point, if I'm ordering for myself, it's likely going to be a red-based pizza.
And oh my goodness, we've only got about 3 minutes here, so we got to
all right. Okay.
Pick up the pace. Cheese, I like a classic mozzarella. I like all the white cheeses basically thrown in there. Give me some Romano. Give me some mozzarella. Give me a nice blend. How about
same? Yeah. Love the traditional thing. And every once in a while you do like the margarita,
some
and it might be
probably in there,
like the
Parmesan.
bufala and all that kind of thing. Like that's fun to do, but still a classic cheese pizza. When you go into Google and you type up slice of pizza, like cheese pizza, yep, that's what I'm looking for.
All right, okay. Now on to the vegetables.
No.
What?
I don't want a ton of vegetables on my pizza.
Okay. Well, I'll say I love a Supreme. I love a combo, a Supreme, whatever you want to call it.
Like the meats and the veggies and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you almost have to knife and fork that sucker because it's so...
I love it.
Nope.
So no veggies for you?
No veggies.
Wow.
Yep. Nope.
So I love them.
Maybe some olives.
I want some mushrooms.
Nope.
I want some black olives. I want some red onions. I want some bell pepper. I want some garlic. All of that. Every time.
No.
Wow.
No. And and pizza, or meats, maybe a pepperoni pizza. But, the kids, we used to do half cheese, half pepperoni, and I almost always default to the cheese side. I'm a purist, but I am going through a pesto moment. Lately, I am liking pizza that is finished with a little bit of pesto.
Okay. So, and just because we're running out of time, even though I wholeheartedly disagree with everything you just said,
we could have a part 2.
On to the meat. On to the meat of the matter. I think you got to have some pepperoni.
That's a classic.
That's a classic, and you got to have it. And it's just not pizza without it. And and then I like some sausage on there too.
Yeah, Pete likes sausage too.
Yeah.
I don't really like the sausage.
So you
It
just
gets too
want
greasy.
pepperoni and cheese. That's all.
I mean, honestly, my ideal slice of pizza, and what I get everywhere that I go, at least one slice of, is a cheese pizza, because in a way, it's a baseline for me to tell how good the pizza is in general. And then I can get fancy. But it's almost like I have to have the cheese piece, and then I can go crazy and come up with something else. It is, to me, always the most satisfying, and a good cheese slice, it can hit every note that you need.
All right.
I know. See? We are, yep. And this is why we talked about this.
And sadly, we're out of time, but man, so much more I could say here.
Well, then, again, we can revisit it. I'll keep it on the wheel of topics.
But let's just go out on this. Pineapple pizza, yay or nay?
No.
Like a Hawaiian style?
No, I don't like it.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, well, okay. Wait. Here's what I'll say. Where we have our lake house, there's a pizza that they almost do like a buffalo chicken pizza, and they have pineapple in it. And I actually don't like the pineapple, but I like the sweetness of the juice. And so I'll order it, and I'll take out the pineapple, and I enjoy it. There. Whew.
All right. For me, again, if it's a pizza party, I'm grabbing a slice. But if I'm just buying a pizza, I'm never getting the Hawaiian by itself. But okay, now we got to pick next week's topic. Surprise party.
Ugh.
We will find out what that's all about next week on Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a wonderful week.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.